Hey divers, my name's Dylan, and welcome back to Peripheral Deep Dive. This is part 2 of our Sleepwalking series, so if you missed part 1, definitely check that one out first. I'll have it linked in the description so you can get caught up. In today's video, we're going to walk through how to actually set up Sleepwalking inside VS Code using MPLAB Extensions. This will be a hands-on setup where we configure peripherals to operate independently while the MCU is asleep. What we're building here is a simple application where the microcontroller periodically checks a potentiometer value using the RTC and ADC. The key idea here is that these peripherals are going to run without the CPU. The MCU only wakes up when a defined threshold is crossed. So instead of constantly pulling in a loop and burning power, we're letting the hardware do the work for us, which is the whole point of sleepwalking. And as a reminder, this concept broadly applies to 32-bit Cortex-M0 microcontrollers, but today specifically, we'll be using the PIC32 PL10 Curiosity Nano on the Curiosity Nano Explorer board. And I'll have pictures of both of these up here. Let's jump into it. I made my project here in the corner, Sleepwalking Project. You can also make a project here on the welcome screen by clicking the Getting Started tab and going to Create or Import MPLAB Project. Or you can also create a new project in the MPLAB tab itself, right here. Now that we're here, it's important to open up MCC. To do that, we're going to use a keyboard shortcut, Control-Shift-P, and it should bring up this tab. Navigate to the MPLAB MCC launch. Here I'm going to use the defaults, and I'll meet you when MCC opens. Let's first start off by adding all our peripherals. Here under Device Resources, we can add our ADC, our Peripheral Manager, our Reset Controller, our RTC or Real-Time Counter, and then we can add our SIRCOM. We're choosing SIRCOM 1 because according to our device user guide, that's what's connected to the CDC port. And with that, we're all done adding our peripherals. Let's start off by making our ADC setting changes. We're going to select the operation mode as single conversion and our prescaler to be divided by 24. Our select conversion trigger is going to be set to hardware event trigger, and we're going to change that trigger to be enabled on the rising edge. For our conversion start type, we're going to change it to start a conversion when an event is received by the ADC. And then we're also going to be changing our select positive input. This is going to be ADC input 29. We only have a few more changes to make, and that's our window mode configuration. This is what's going to set up our threshold to send an interrupt to the event system to wake the MCU. So here we're going to change the window comparison to be less than window or greater than. And then here we can see our upper and lower thresholds, and we're going to enable our interrupt. Here's our sleep mode configuration, and we're going to enable run during standby. For our reset controller, we just want to make sure it's enabled. Now for the RTC. For the RTC, we only have to make a couple of changes. For one, we're going to disable our interrupt and make sure no other interrupts are enabled. We're also going to be wanting to change our compare value and enabling our compare 0 event output enable. And like I said, our compare value, we're going to change to 96 and clear on compare match. Now we can move on to our SIRCOM. All we're going to want to do is verify our baud rate and then change our receive pin out. This is just to make sure we don't have any pin collisions. Now it's time to set up the event system. So here under the Plugins tab, we can actually add our channels and our different user configurations. For the channels, we're only going to be adding 2. First, I'm going to be adding our RTC compare RTC compare 0. And then I'm also going to be adding in our ADC window compare. And then finally, we're going to add in 3 users. We're going to change this one to channel 1, and then we're also going to change this to be our ADC start trigger. Now we can make our pin changes. And so we're going to be wanting to change PB01 and PB00 to SIRCOM pad 1 and 0. This is because according to our device user guide, these are actually connected to our CDC port, and this is what will display our UART messages to our terminal. We're also going to be wanting to add in a couple GPIO. These are going to be our LED and switch. And then we can finally add in our analog input. This is going to be our potentiometer input. I'm naming mine pot_in. And with that, we're ready to generate. Here we are in our main.c to discuss the actual code side of things. Here in the main function, it's actually pretty simple. All we're doing is initializing the system, and then we're instantly going to sleep. And then we stop here at PM idle mode enter. Here with the peripheral manager, we're stuck in sleep mode, and we won't get out of sleep mode until we get a threshold interrupt from our ADC. And when we do get that result, we end up changing our threshold for the next test, starting our loop over and over. Let's program it and see how this actually looks. So here we are, just idle. This is our quote-unquote sleep mode. If we interacted with the potentiometer at all, we could get a blinking on the LEDs. You may notice we actually have 2 blinking LEDs. One of the LEDs is actually our UART message, and the other is our sleep LED. Some common pitfalls to watch out for that I ran into are forgetting to enable your event triggering on the ADC. This could lead to you never updating the event threshold. More importantly, it could lead to never even waking up the MCU. Along the same lines, if your event system isn't properly routed, your event system handles all the sleep scheduling, so to speak. So if something's wrong, it could lead to a mismanagement of events in the future. Your threshold not being properly set up could lead to, if it's too big, it may never trigger, and if it's too small, it may never stop triggering. And finally, last but not least, STDIO not being properly linked to SIRCOM. If those two aren't linked together, you will get no printf functionality, and honestly, it's just a headache that has a really simple solution. If something's not working, it's usually one of these, but if you ran into a new problem, feel free to leave a comment, and hopefully we can respond to you. And that's it for part 2 of this peripheral deep dive. Now that you've seen how to actually configure and connect everything inside VS Code, you can make your own sleepwalking projects. If you found this helpful, please be sure to check out part 1 if you haven't already done so, and tune in for more deep dives. Have a good one and happy coding.